throughout the year, is John Hooper. John Hooper is an Italian correspondent for The Economist, and he has worked as the Southern Europe editor for The Guardian, and he's written a brand new book called The Italians, and he's going to be at St. Louis County Library tonight for a book signing and a book reading. John Hooper, welcome to KTRS here in St. Louis.
Thank you.
So you wrote a book trying to explain the Italians.
Yes.
Is it 8 million pages long?
That's right. It's only just over 300. And there's certainly times when I was writing it when I thought that the task was impossible, because you have to make so many exceptions, and then you get to a point where you say, no, for readability, I have to just plow on, make exceptions every so often, but allow the reader to assume that every so often things are not going to apply universally in such a varied, diverse country.
So when you started off with the book, your goal was to what? Try and explain the quirky, crazy, beautiful nature of Italy?
Really try and explain some of the paradoxes and the anomalies that I had encountered as a foreigner going there. I wanted to write the book that I would like to have read when I first arrived. And Italy is a country that is full of apparent contradictions. Some of them I still find baffling, but some I think that I have found an answer to, and those answers are in the book.
What are some of the things that just purely maddening to you or baffling?
Well, I think one of the things that is, I don't think either maddening or baffling, but for example, when foreigners come to Italy, they see people who appear to be very open, very friendly, very warm, and in a way, Italians are all of those things, but they're also people who are very reserved. They are very reluctant to part with information. They're very keen on concepts of privacy, and so on and so on. And those kind of paradoxes, if you like, are the sort that I've been trying to tackle in the book.
One of the things in your book, The Italians, which you're going to be talking about tonight at the St. Louis County Library for a book signing and a book reading, and you'll have a great time. A great crowd will be there, and everyone's always welcome, is explain to me how the same country that can produce the Renaissance and save culture and sort of define culture and art for hundreds of thousands of years can also produce the mafia.
Well, one answer is to say that they're produced in different parts of Italy. Remember that up until the 19th century, Italy was not a unified state, and it was brought together from different parts. And the south is what produced the mafia, and essentially the Renaissance was a product of the center and north. The epicenter was Florence, and you could say that these came from two different countries. But actually, the mafia was produced after unification. So you've got to then factor in another element. Was the mafia actually a product of the kind of colonization by the north of the south? There are a lot of Southerners who feel that that was the case. I think the answer is that Italy is an immensely varied country that produces contradictory things. And the Renaissance and the mafia are a good example of that.
Yeah.
This is a country that produces, some of the most divine food in the world, some of the best fashion to be had, and so on and so on, but which has entered into a period of extraordinary economic stagnation over the last 10 years, which has deep-seated problems of adapting to the 21st century. So that, too, is a weird contradiction between the conservatism that the Italians are showing in some respects and the progressiveness, the cutting-edge aspect of some of their engineering, their fashion, and so on.
Yeah, anyone who can build a town or a city like Venice right? Hundreds of years ago with no real modern technology, and for all of its warts, still a functioning city today is nothing short of amazing.
Yeah, yes, it is one of the most extraordinary places on Earth. When you think that it doesn't even rest on land, it rests on compacted tree trunks and reeds and other vegetable matter that have been sunk into the marsh, into the lagoon, to make the foundations for the city. It's a miracle.
Yeah, and then, of course, Rome. But the book is called The Italians. John Hooper, our guest, he's going to be at the St. Louis County Library tonight, 7 o'clock, for a book signing and a book reading. John, what were one of the things you found out as a journalist researching this book that you thought, wow, I had no idea?
When I was looking into the figures for crime, because we associate Italy with a high rate of crime because of the mafia. And I looked into the figures for reported violent crime and discovered that it is 1/8 in Italy of that in the United Kingdom, my home country. That astonished me, because even though reported is an important word here, there are a lot of parts of Italy where you don't report crime. Nevertheless, the gap is so great that even if you double the amount in Italy, you still come to a figure of only 25% of that in a country that's regarded as much more peaceful.
Why do you think that is?
I think because of the family. I think the family makes for a great deal of social peace in Italy. Family bonds, even though the family itself has changed enormously in recent years, the family bonds remain very, very strong, and people stay at home for longer as children. The family, I think, provides a kind of stability that leads to less social alienation than we find in some of our Anglo-Saxon societies.
Yeah. How do you explain Mussolini?
I think that he promised to order into a very young country that felt it was tipping into chaos. He also took some liberties along the way and half seized and half was given power. But he also was a great showman. I think that part of the explanation for Mussolini is also part of the explanation for a more recent successful politician who is Silvio Berlusconi, who was prime minister for 8 of the 10 years during the 2000s. He too is a great showman, a man who believed greatly in image, and indeed is a television mogul.
Yeah. The Italians is the book, getting a lot of attention. Just released. John Hooper on his tour, starting off here in St. Louis. John, I've been to Italy once, twice. I played tag all through Italy, and I saw everything just enough to say I saw it. But, to go see Venice, to go see Rome, to go see the Sistine Chapel, to go see the Colosseum, to go see the ruins there. Their words do not describe the beauty that you see as you visit Italy.
No, it's true. And I say in the book that there are some cities that you've probably never even heard of, Trani, Vercelli, which hold greater artistic treasures than are to be found in entire U.S. states.
Yeah, and I think you would agree that if there's any way you can get to Italy by hook or by crook, get there and see as much as you can.
Yes, indeed, I would.
Yeah, all right. Tonight, John Hooper, you're going to be in. You're going to be at the St. Louis County Library, and if you want a little Italy tonight, why don't you head down to the hill and have a little Italian food?
I should be doing so.
John Hooper. The book is called The Italians. Tonight, 7 o'clock, St. Louis County Library. John, have a good trip to St. Louis.
Thank you very much.
You got it. 9:20. You got it. 9:21 here.